All right, so welcome to Melissa's Monday Madness. Coming to you a day late because Zoom again is not live streaming for me. My guest today is Crystal, and how about you introduce yourself, and then we will continue on with some questions.
Hi everyone, I am Crystal Lynn of The Revamped Woman, and I am an intuitive life coach. I focus on helping women who are newly single again to get clear and confident so that they can chase down their dream life. I've been through personal experiences and use intuition, and I'm a Reiki master and not master, sorry, practitioner. And do a lot of law of attraction work. So
it's really good. I love that. So so you do women's empowerment. Do you find that a lot of women who are newly single need help finding who they are again because they've kind of lost touch with themselves in the role of partner and mother and all the other stuff that comes along with that?
Yes, absolutely. It's amazing how we can lose ourselves in a relationship in different roles, and I don't think we're completely aware of it also. I just know for myself being single again, obviously there's parts of ourselves we never lose, and so you almost don't recognize it when it happens because you do stuff to put your kids first, you want this and that to get done, you're there for your husband. I don't know, I myself was a very strong woman, so I never thought that I lost any of myself. I always thought I didn't take any crap and that kind of thing, but you slowly do give away your power when certain things happen in a relationship. And, it makes sense if you're in a normal, healthy relationship that happens, but when you're in something that's unbalanced and the partner is more narcissistic or any of those things, then it becomes it's very manipulative on their part in little ways here and there, and you may not even realize how you're losing yourself here and there. And when you're newly single again, it's almost like this joyous freedom that, I get to do this and that, and there's many elements of freedom to it, and like learning to get to know yourself again. And I actually used to read tarot cards over the phone when I was, I don't know, like 19 or something. And my husband told my ex-husband, said, I threw your tarot cards away like years later. And one day I just went to the store and I was like, oh yeah, I'm buying tarot cards. And now I don't know how many sets I have now, but it's just those little things, I mean, singing, he gave away my karaoke machine, just singing around the house and dancing, and like those little things that I used to love to do. Like I used to live by myself before him. So, and then you share your space with someone else and you kind of let them take over in little ways. And I think we as a whole, we forget to take those moments to ourselves. You need to do the things that you enjoy for you. Self-care is like so important. And I think all of us, whether we're single or a mom or whatnot, we totally put self-care on the back burner due to like getting things done, going to work. It's just hard to put everything in balance in a day or even a week sometimes. So
absolutely. Do you think that women who become newly single, do you think that they get drunk on that freedom and they may make hasty and drastic choices based on that freedom that aren't necessarily for their highest good?
I'm sure that's possible, but I think, I guess it depends on the situation. I also think there's a sadness and a fear and a burden to it when you're first leaving also, and working through all those feelings, I think may lead to more of the bad choices. Like maybe trying to ignore that fear, that panic of, can I do it on my own? Many cases they might tell you, you can't make it without me, and then you leave them and it's like, why can't I, like, but it also, things happen, and I think it's a lot of confidence, it's building up your confidence again, and you get so used to having another person there also and like doing certain things for you. So I think when they separated, they miss those little things and they're used to those little things. And if you don't stop and focus on what you do want to attract and why you left and those positive things that you want to bring in, then you can get stuck in the like negative and the what was, and oh, I got to take out the trash now myself. And it's like, well, who cares if you have to take out the trash now yourself, because now you can do this, that, and this for yourself that you weren't able to before. So I guess my point is, I think you have to stop and listen to what you're feeling and actually feel it and be low and feel down when you feel down and just almost sink into it for a minute instead of ignoring it.
Yeah.
Because ignore and block it out, then that's when I think we do hasty things to just distract ourselves, I guess. So I know, like, even after I left him, quite a few things happened to me that I just couldn't believe, you know, and had to just stop and really feel it and like hit that, just feel awful and really work through it and then release it. I wrote a lot of letters and burned them and and I worked through it just by feeling it and releasing it and letting it go and then saying, okay, I can't believe this happened, but, and then still thinking, well, this is what I want. And, it's like waves, ebbs and flows. And
absolutely. So what do you think, whether it's been clients or your own experience, what do you think the most common reason or cause for relationships to end? What do you think that is for most of your clients?
I think a lot of them get lost and get unhappy. I think more men fit the pattern of an abuser. It doesn't mean that they necessarily abuse somebody physical, but whether it's mental, emotional, verbal abuse in little ways. I think more women experience abuse and they don't realize it. I never thought I was abused, Yeah. So I think that's an issue and something that, when you think, oh, you meet this guy, he's so wonderful, you plan on staying with him forever if you're married, or at least even if you're in a relationship, oh, he's wonderful. And then all of a sudden something happens, a life event, it changes things. And all of a sudden, like, nothing's like it used to be, or it slowly changes or whatever. And so like for me, my ex got hurt and then he became more negative, and that event kind of changed everything, little by little, slowly. So I think that's what happens for most people. A life event happens, something changes, the dynamic changes, and or maybe they picked someone from the beginning that was abusive and they didn't have the confidence and self-esteem, and then they work into that person that they're supposed to be, and they grow that confidence, and then they realize, I don't deserve to be treated like this.
Absolutely. So you make art. I remember that from our conversation before. You make art. So what kind of art do you make?
So I have life coaching art sessions. I actually have a degree in art and fashion design. So I'll do like a life coaching session, and then I'll make a piece of artwork for them and mail it to them. And basically they tell me their story, and I create something that's symbolic of their triumph and their pain. And then they have something tangible that, I send to them that they could either, hang up, display it. I suppose they could burn it if they want to. But most people want to display it that I've done it for. They just love it, and it really resonates with them. And I guess it's unlike anything they've had. So it's just a cool, very cool thing. I just think the fact that it's something you can touch and see and see almost the the transformation, you know what I mean? Because you'll see that pain, you know, I usually represent both sides of it in the work. So it's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. Sorry. I had tried to schedule this as a live webinar on Facebook, and now it's notifying me that I'm going live in 3 minutes, even though I'm not. So it's like, oh, hey, Melissa's going live in 3 minutes. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm, already tried. Anyway, I really like the thought of that. I think that's a unique perspective and a unique gift that somebody can get to really open you using your intuition and their own story to build that piece for them. It's very transformational. And I know you mentioned fashion consultant. You do you kind of help your clients with that as well, from what I remember us talking about. And I think that's really unique as well. As female entrepreneurs, as entrepreneurs at all, for any of us, we have to somewhat find our uniqueness, right? We need to find what we bring to the table that maybe other people don't, and really express ourselves in the way that we want to. It's like my readings. I do tarot readings and a whole bunch of other stuff. But I definitely, I love that you do that. And I think that's very valuable to your clients and these women who maybe need that expression, who need that, change in wardrobe or change in outlook. And that's definitely good for them. You mentioned in the pre-interview about people holding us back. And that it's a huge pet peeve of yours, how people hold other people back from who they truly are, and not wanting us to rise up as women, as entrepreneurs. So why does that, like, what about that makes you really angry?
Well, I think often when people are holding other people back, they're not even aware of it. They're operating on a lower level. They're not as conscious. So they think that they can only do certain things in life, and then they expect everyone else to be on that level and not have higher expectations. So I think when someone comes along and I want to do this, I want to do what, I think it scares them because they think they can't do it. So why should anybody else be able to?
Absolutely.
And I just think the time and era we were raised in, my parents were kind of like, you go to job, you get a school, you go to school, you get a job, you get married, and that was it. It was like mediocre expectations. Like just getting a college degree, I think, was more than most people did at the time, well, they didn't do it, but for me to do as the child. And now that I have my own kids, it's like, you can do anything since they've been born. I've just been telling them, you can do anything, anything you want to do, and then as they get older, it's like, well, you got to put in the effort, you got to practice, but you can do anything. You have to follow your heart's desire, and you have to believe in yourself. Like, you have to go after what you want to do. Like, I don't want to tell my kid, oh, you should be a doctor. And don't get me wrong, I might say, oh, you're good at math, you would be good at this, as they grow up, this and that. You're going to tell them things they're good at. But I'm not going to say, you have to go to college and get a degree in this. Like, you have to be a lawyer. And I feel like my parents definitely did that to me growing up. Oh, you should be an accountant. Whatever they thought. And I don't even know that it was what I was good at. I think it was maybe stuff they wish they would have done. And I get it, that's normal, but we're just in a different era now. And I don't want my kids to be limited, and I don't want them to fulfill their lives based on my limiting beliefs or the limiting beliefs my parents passed on to me, because that's all they do. So yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. And yeah.
Absolutely. So what can people who are watching and who are interested in working with you, what can they expect? What can they expect from your program, or what do you offer them?
So for my 3-month coaching packages, it would be like one-on-one coaching sessions. And then also a fashion consultation is thrown in there, so that they could use that to either, maybe they're dating again and they want to focus on dressing, for dating or job interview or promotion, so we can kind of focus or even pick one for each, you know, to get them more, you know, because it's an inner and outer beauty thing, right? You're newly single again, you're getting in touch with yourself. I think it's important to really play and dress up and like, I don't know, maybe dress a little bit younger. Like you don't have to go completely outside of your comfort zone, but I think, you know, that most of us might possibly get a little conservative or
give yourself that perk up, right?
Yeah, so to play. And then as far as the coaching, it's just a lot of you know, it's a lot of law of attraction stuff. Some of my clients don't know law of attraction already, and some have. So it depends where they're at and how much of that we put into it. But definitely a lot of self-care and working through blocks and things like that, so that they can have new beliefs and start new patterns to forge a new kind of era and, you know, path for themselves, I guess.
Absolutely. So do you have anything going on that you'd like to share with the viewers? Anything that they should look into? Anything that you've got going on?
Well, I do have room for a few more clients for my 3-month coaching package. But I'm working on a journal group, which I'm not quite ready to release yet, but they could join my Facebook group, which is Emerge-a Revamped Woman. And then I will be posting, I'm going to do like a journal group for like a month. And since it takes like 30 days to create a habit, I want to make it simple, or maybe they're journaling for like 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day even. But I'll give them prompts and things like that, so that it would be a lot of self-discovery, a lot of comings and terms with themselves, getting their emotions, feelings, wants, and desires out there. And I just think it could be a really powerful experience, especially for someone who's single again. It's just a great practice to get into. And I'll throw different little things in there other than just journaling here and there. So yeah, that's something I'm excited about, and I think it's going to be great, but I'm just still working out the details before I officially release it.
Absolutely. Sounds great. Well, that sounds amazing. Do you have any questions for me or anything else you would like our viewers to know before we get going?
I don't think so.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Crystal. I really appreciated your time and your input on this webinar. For anybody watching, I am going to promo because, well, I can, we all can. I am about to be launching a new group program on how to create and nurture healthy relationships in all 7 of your mindset pillars. So look for that. I'm doing some relationship challenges before then that you're not going to want to miss before the program. So much love, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will be back again next Monday. So thank you again, Crystal. Have a wonderful evening.
Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.
Bye.